Hello and welcome to Caffeine Entertainment. I'm your host, Mental9R, and this is yet another hot take video. We're trying to get out at least around 5 of these a week, so here we are again, and as always, I've got my good buddy and longtime friend, Finn Tintin, with me as co-host, and today's video we're going to be talking some more about Xbox and the latest round of news that just seems to keep slapping them in the face. But here we are, and yeah, we're going to talk a bit about this is an Xbox and the latest news around their hardware. What do you think, Finn?
Yeah,
I'm going to cue up the video.
The way you said, like, it's yet another hot take. It's like, how, almost like people are getting too much of us. How could that be possible?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. And you are blessed with another hot take. How's
That's
that?
more like it. That's more like it.
All right. Let's watch This Is an Xbox.
This for that. This for that. This for that. This for that.
Who's the black sheep? What's the black sheep? Know who I am or when I'm coming, so you sleep. Know you heard the others. Only still the lovers. Then of course, the choice is yours.
You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I feel we get with this, for this is where it's at. Where it's at. Come on. This for that. This for that. This for that.
Did you see an Xbox in that?
I did right at the start, actually.
Yeah. And then everything else didn't look like an Xbox. I saw a Steam Deck. I saw a ROG Ally.
I will say this. I did like the music. I did like the old school hip hop. That had me tapping my feet as we were going through that there. But yeah, it's a strange one. And you know, one of the reasons we decided to do this video is, and again, this is my take on it. This is my hot take on it. So maybe you got a different belief or a different take on it than I do. But again, okay, so you get Phil Spencer coming out and saying, okay, we're not doing an equivalent to the PS5 Pro.
No mid-gen upgrade.
Yeah, but definitely there'll be another Xbox. So we're all in it. We're all in for the Xbox, etc. And then there's a big ad promoting, yeah, you don't need an Xbox. You don't need an Xbox at all. So I'm like, what am I supposed to take from that? Like, am I supposed to believe Phil when he says, no, we're big in the console business. We really will bring out another one. Or am I to think no, their ad is telling the truth, where they don't really see the requirement. And again, Phil Spencer says in the same interview, like, bringing out another $1,000 console is not the way to build build the audience or build the game industry, whatever he said. Like, I find it hard to understand what their stance is exactly. I don't think I believe him. I don't think I believe him that he is definitely coming out with another console. I think he is hedging his bets and saying, depending on which way the wind flows or blows, maybe we will, and I'll say we will, so I don't alienate people. But I don't know if he believes it himself.
Yeah, and this goes back, like, it kind of, for me, it goes back to, I don't think Phil Spencer's really running the show anymore. There was a time when he was, but ever since ABK, everything's been flipped on its head, and I think you've got the Xbox or the Microsoft executive telling Phil, this is how it's going to be, here's what we're going to do. And, you know, I do feel like a lot of it is short-term gain, but they could get some long-term pain by alienating their fan base. They may not care. The hardware thing, I do believe, is becoming an afterthought. I mean, he did say they're currently working on a handheld. You know, and I'm going to assume it's probably got a dock of some kind, and it'll probably be reasonably powerful. Although I heard other rumors that, they're targeting the ROG Ally performance. If it's not going to be out for a few years, as he said, and it's only going to perform as well as a ROG Ally does today, that's a fail, like a big fail. And I mean, I look at this comment, they couldn't justify releasing a mid-gen console like the PlayStation 5 Pro, as any improvements made would be minimal and wouldn't justify the cost. I'm assuming he means the cost of R&D and putting it into production. And when you look at how much Xbox hardware sales have fallen off, I don't think there'd be a market other than, the real hardcore Xbox fans would go out and buy it. But how many of those are left? I think they've alienated a lot of them. I mean, you see some of the biggest fans of Xbox I've ever seen in my life have dropped the brand and moved over to PlayStation with all this latest stuff around them going full third party and dumping all their games on PlayStation. And I mean, in a way, I can't blame them. Xbox was my favorite in the console world. I've made no secret of that. I've always preferred Xbox over PlayStation. But as the rumors all came out, I haven't bought a game digitally on Xbox since January, because I kind of look at it and go, why would I? I don't have faith in the future of the brand, at least in the hardware. And what am I going to play my digital games on if they don't bring out new hardware in the future? So that's kind of where I've come from. I've been buying the odd game on disc, and most of them used, like previously played for cheap, and building a little bit of a physical collection, and that's it. And anything else I've bought on PlayStation.
So I did. This isn't a major thing in the whole argument, or the whole conversation. But when I read the whole it didn't justify the cost, I didn't think he was suggesting the cost of their own R&D. I thought he was being the nice guy and saying wouldn't justify the cost to the consumer, especially since he already kind of pissed on PlayStation coming out with a $1,000 console. He was talking about the cost to the consumer in that regard. Now, maybe it's not that I believe it anyway that he really cares that much. I think when it comes down to it, you're probably right. It's a marriage of two things. Number one, he doesn't think that they would sell a lot of them. They're not selling a lot of regular Xboxes.
No, they were down 25% or 29% last quarter again.
So why would they expect that a new one would suddenly blow? Because even PlayStation, I don't expect the PS5 Pro at its current price point. I don't expect the PS5 Pro to blow anyone's socks off with its sales numbers either. Could be wrong. I don't expect it though. So I think you're right. The real reason behind it is that they don't think they're going to sell them, number one. And number two, they are not committed to the hardware market, as I have said like a zillion times before. They'll probably dip their toe in the water again, see how things flow. But
I believe they will have another under this TV console, and I do believe they'll build the handheld. I just don't know. I'm not convinced that it's going to sell well, because I don't see a compelling reason to buy one. Unless, we did have that other article that rumored they were slowing down on their release to PS5. So perhaps maybe there's going to be every new Xbox game, there's going to be some kind of an exclusivity window on Xbox. And if that's a year or two, then maybe there is a market still for an Xbox. I don't know. Some people don't like to wait. You and me, I don't think that's an issue. I think we'll sit and wait. It doesn't matter to us. Yeah. There's other people that have more of a FOMO issue, but I don't know. I for some reason in my mind, I'm thinking they're going to get to about 10 million sales. It's going to fall off a cliff, and they're going to go, we're going to quit producing these.
Yeah, I'm not so convinced that they will produce. I mean, again, maybe they will. It's hard to know. And I think we could both be right in a way by they produce something else whose shape I'm still unsure of, that they will deem to be an Xbox console, but won't be the typical Xbox console in the same way that Xbox and PS5 is, etc. Now, the other thing I was thinking as well as you were talking about it, and maybe this is my imagination, they haven't just been buying companies like Activision and console and PC games. They've also been investing in the mobile market. So maybe their handheld will be something that will play games of that ilk quite well, but will really not be capable of playing the next Call of Duty, or at least not the version you get in the console. So I think that's also possible. There, as I say, they are also investing in the mobile games market, cell phones, which is a huge market as well, right? But at the end of the day,
it's the biggest market.
At the end of the day, they're motivated by profit. They're motivated by money. And if they think that where the money is by producing games for the mobile market, by producing games that can be played rather on other devices other than an Xbox, whether that be a Fire Stick or a PS5 or a PC or whatever else it might be, that's what they'll do. I don't think there's any reason to believe, based on everything we've seen, that they're particularly religious about we must produce another Xbox console.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
I think they got one more in them, and then all bets are off. And I don't even know that it will last a full generation in production if the sales kind of go the way I think they will. They haven't done themselves any favor with all this advertising. You're going to have you'll have your core Xbox fan that will still buy one, and you're going to have the completely uninformed consumer that's always bought Xbox that will buy one, and anyone that's partially or well in the know will just go, yeah, no, I think I'm only buying one console this gen, and it's going to be a PlayStation because I can buy the few games that I like from Xbox on the PlayStation. And there's been all the memes where, oh, you missed one, and then the pictures of the PlayStation. This is an Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Like you missed that one, Phil, in your little clips there. But yeah,
I mean,
it's,
I don't know. I will reiterate one thing as well. I've said on a previous show. So I've always been a bit more of a PlayStation guy, but I've owned every iteration of Xbox. So I have nothing against Xbox, as you well know. And I'm pretty agnostic at the end of the day. I happen to prefer the PS5 interface and ecosystem, but I played a lot of games on the Xbox as well. Some of my favorite games I've played on the Xbox. However, so don't think I'm hating on Xbox when I say this. Xbox fanboys are upset with the idea of there not being a console. But to Microsoft, it's a business. And whether or not it has a console or not, if Microsoft Games Division or Xbox Games Division is making shitloads of money, the fact that they don't care that people who love the Xbox hardware don't have hardware anymore. If they sold 5 million copies of a game on the old traditional Xbox, but now they're selling 100 million games across a wider ecosystem, and there's no Xbox console involved, that's a win for Microsoft. Who cares that Microsoft fanboys or Xbox fanboys are crying about it?
At their heart, Microsoft's a software company.
Yeah, I'm not. I call them Xbox. I'm not saying that in any kind of derogative way at all. I'm just saying that people's feelings don't count in what Xbox are doing.
No, they don't. And, I do think I tend to view it from a consumer perspective all the time, right? If there's no Xbox hardware, it's bad for the consumer. We've already seen what Sony will price things at if there's no competition.
That I don't disagree with, right? But again, that's not necessarily Microsoft's problem, right? As long as their games
it's
are getting
not at
sold,
all.
right?
But again, I'm looking at it from a consumer perspective because I'm a consumer first kind of person. And without competition in the hardware market, it's not going to be pretty. Anyone that thinks Sony's their friend are going to find out just how unfriendly they really are because they're in it for the money too. They're not going to sell a console at a loss. They're going to be looking to make decent margin on it day one. And that's what they're doing with the Pro. They're making money, I guarantee you, like they're making good money on that.
I mean, it is
what it is.
I mean, I 100% agree with that. You want competition. Now, I wouldn't give up any hope of no one else getting into the market. If it's a big market, if it's making lots of money, I can see other people getting into the market. However,
who?
Maybe Elon Musk has the next console up his sleeve. Who knows, right?
I mean, there's been rumors about Apple for ever, like probably a decade. Apple's been rumored that they're going to build their own console and get in the market. I just don't see it happening realistically. It's a tough market to crack. If Microsoft can't do it after 25 years in the marketplace, who's going to come in and steal any of Sony's thunder? Maybe a proper Steam console that's purpose built, and take the learnings. I've talked about this before. Take the learnings from the Steam Deck, package it into a more high-powered under the TV, like under the set top desk or whatever the hell you want to call it under the TV box. And yeah, you might entice enough PC players and people that want to get into PC and take advantage of the Steam sales and all that stuff that you'd have some decent competition.
And in fairness, I think
It's a possibility.
others have tried and failed to crack the market, and but that doesn't mean that no one will do it again no one won't succeed. I guess we don't know, right? But I agree
Yeah.
with you. Whether it's someone, and there's always Nintendo as well. Maybe if Xbox are out of it, they see a gap and they say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we change our strategy." I don't think they need to. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but they could, right? So I would say it's not impossible, but at the end of the day, I agree it isn't good for there to be no competition in the console market, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure it'd be a case of get ready to pay a lot more for your hardware. And that's not a good thing, but time will tell. Like I said, I think they got one more in them with the handheld. Hopefully they just bring out their high-end console and the handheld. There's no in between with the Series S again. Get rid of that. Just do your primary main console and a handheld to pair with it and see what happens. I think there will be a market, the one niche thing with their own built handheld is it can play their legacy games, or at least I would think so. Whereas the ROG Ally and all those, they can't do that. They're playing just the PC versions of what's available. There's a lot of old 360 games and stuff that they can't play. So we'll see. We'll see.
As I say, one other thing as well, for those, including you, and again, I could definitely be wrong about this. I guess I don't know is the answer, but for those who feel pretty convinced that they're going to bring out another console, Xbox strategy seems to change by the week or by the month. So
I don't think they know what their strategy is.
So the idea that, well, because Phil Spencer says in 3 years' time we're going to do this, or 4 years' time we're going to do this, to think that, well, that's a guarantee. No, I don't think so.
No.
There's a lot of water that's going to flow under the bridge between now and then, and I think they may well produce another console if they think the market conditions are right. If they don't think they're right, they won't. Simple as that.
Yeah. I'm still kind of the mindset that their next console will be 2026. I think they're going to jump over the Pro with a new generation of hardware and try to get a head start on the PS6. And if they do that, they may get better sales, just because it'll be the most powerful, the best console. And if they've got their games firing on all 4 or all 8 cylinders, whatever you want to call it, maybe they can build a bit of a foothold again in the marketplace like they did with the 360. That's what really got the 360 off and running. It was out a year before the PS3, and it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So
I did think I saw in the article that, and again, I think this was speculation on the article's behalf as well, but I did think I saw that they were talking, was it 2027 or 2028? But again, that doesn't make it so either.
Yeah, I think they're making a guess based on the traditional, or what's become the traditional lifespan, which seems to be 7 years. I'm kind of hedging my bets that they've been talking about the next generation being well into development for years already. I think it would behoove them to get a head start and get out a year early. So we'll see. I'm just guessing, but I will say this: if I'm right, holy crap, are you going to hear about it?
Hey, why don't we make it? Next time we talk about this, we should make it interesting. Couple of $100 down.
I don't gamble. I don't gamble. But I'm willing to be told I was wrong. I have no problem with that. But damn rights, if I'm right, holy crap.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd be fine being wrong as well. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but
yeah. Well,
if it ever did.
Yeah, if I ever am wrong, I'm willing to accept it. But anyway, I don't have anything else on this one.
Yeah, I
Any
will say.
final thoughts?
I think one of the differences between you and me is because, as you say, you are a Xbox traditionalist as well. So, as much as anything else, and I agree with you on the lack of competition point, but you don't want to see that brand, or at least a hardware brand, die a slow death. Neither do I, really. But I think you're a bit more invested in it than I am. But there's
a little bit more of an attachment to it for sure. But I mean, honestly, my biggest concern is from a consumer perspective.
Yeah.
And, I've seen what the lack of competition does on the PC side. And you can already start to see it happening on the console side.
Yeah.
And that sucks because
Yeah.
Microsoft quit competing. That's why these consoles are still priced the same they were day one. Actually,
Yeah.
they've gone up, right? And it's because Microsoft has given up on making any kind of dent into Sony's lead, so they haven't been pushing price as a factor. So Sony's going, we don't even have to try. We can just leave the price as is. We'll put out this Pro, we'll charge a premium, blah, blah, blah. People will buy it anyway because, hey, inflation, and this is the way of the world. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that way, but it
Yeah.
is. So
I do think that, to your point, if Xbox were giving them more competition, I don't think the PS5 Pro would be $1,000 in Canada.
no, it wouldn't. Absolutely guarantee. What you would have seen is very similar to what happened with the PS4 Pro. It would have come out at the launch price. And you'd have $250, $300 PS5s, and not in Canada, but in US dollars. They'd be $250, $300 for your top end models, and that would be where we're at. We're 4 years in. We just had that anniversary, or it's just coming up. When do they come out? November 21st or something? 2020, right? Yeah, no, it's crazy. Anyway, now I'm done. How about you? Anything
too.
else?
No,
All right. Let them know where they can reach you.
I will indeed. Fintintin on X, as you see there, with one instead of the first I.
Go
and
ahead, point at it. There you go. There it is. Right on.
and Fintintin with on PlayStation, Steam, on Xbox, all alphabetical characters.
Perfect. And I am at Mental9R on X. I am Mental9R on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and just about anywhere else you can play games. And of course, you are at Caffeine Entertainment on YouTube and on Rumble. You can find us with a quick search as well. And if you stayed with us this long, believe it or not, the vast majority of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed. So please, if you enjoyed this video, let us know by subscribing, liking, and hey, most importantly, leave a comment and let us know your thoughts on the future of Xbox and where we might see things go. Once again, I'm Mental9R, and hey, I got it right. He's Fin1010. This is Caffeine Entertainment. And don't forget, it's time to wake up and play some games.